Guess what's back?
What's that?
Back again. Caitlin Clark.
Yes, she is.
Tell a friend. Pulled up from the parking lot. The second shot of the game. She had the first 2 points on the foul line. Then she had, then they scored a layup, and then she pulls up from logo, from where the 22 is basically on the Iowa court. Cash. She has surpassed everybody in the amount of time that she has played in the WNBA. She fills up every arena in every town that she goes to. Teams have to go to bigger arenas so that they can try to profit off the Caitlin Clark train coming to town.
Pat McAfee just saw Caitlin Clark make another historic move as the Fever defeated the Sky, and he erupted like a firecracker in a Red Bull factory. One moment he's composed, sort of, and the next he's leaping out of his chair as if CC just walked on water during the game. Did she score, assist, teleport? Whatever she did, McAfee's reaction was so exaggerated it deserves its own Hall of Fame. This isn't just a victory, it's a Clark quake, shaking up the league and electrifying fans everywhere.
But I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class, this rookie class, this rookie class, not just call it for what it is. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple year success story?
Did you guys see the audience when she got bumped? That shit is packed. She is making a change.
Record-breaking attendance.
Record-breaking. Yeah. And I hate this. Guys, they always go to freaking race.
Pat McAfee watched Caitlin Clark break yet another WNBA record, and his reaction was nothing short of legendary. You could almost hear tank tops being shredded in pure excitement. With a thunderous desk slap and an impromptu flex, McAfee jumped into the moment that had nothing to do with him, because of course he did. If you thought a historic basketball performance could be appreciated quietly, think again. McAfee's signature over-the-top enthusiasm took center stage, turning a moment of greatness into a full-blown spectacle. His infectious energy proved once again that when it comes to celebrating basketball brilliance, he's all in. Loud, proud, and unforgettable.
I hate cereal. I'm sorry, I won't have it.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. He didn't grow up in Iowa.
Well, actually, I do love the Fever.
Hey, thank you for this.
Of course.
Will you sign this?
Of course.
Okay, later. We'll get it later. We don't have a lot of time. I have something for you, actually.
Oh, gosh.
No.
This could be anything.
No? Well, very true. As a welcome to the city, which we are incredibly lucky to have you.
Thanks.
Know that.
I'm excited.
I hope you felt that from all of Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
Okay, the Indianapolis Colts brought something up here for me to get.
The Indiana Fever finally beat the Chicago Sky, and Caitlin Clark shattered more WNBA records. In his over-the-top studio, Pat McAfee's reaction was a sensory overload. Clark's buzzer-beating brilliance got an unsolicited high-octane endorsement from McAfee. His enthusiastic yell of, "Let's go!" was like a frat bro discovering Fireball whiskey for the first time. McAfee's antics overshadowed the historic moment, but his energy was contagious. If you needed confirmation that Clark was a force to be reckoned with, McAfee's caffeine-fueled take was all the validation you needed. Loud, proud, and utterly unnecessary.
Angel Reese goes up to take a shot. Caitlin Clark goes to stop her, but then they call it a foul. They call a foul. So they call the foul, they upgrade the foul, and just at its surface, like if you're not a person that just sits and watches basketball all the time like me, I just saw the videos begin to circulate, and I'm like, yo, what was the issue? Why were they about to fight on the court? At first, when I watched it, I felt like that. I felt like, oh, that was on purpose on Caitlin's behalf. And I'm like, why is she so upset? She said that there isn't an issue. And then I went back and watched like some of the replays, and I'm like, oh, no, she really was just trying to stop the ball from going into the rim.
They upcharged it to a flagrant foul, I believe, but it was just a regular foul.
But don't worry, this wasn't just about Clark. It was about how her victory made Pat McAfee feel. You see, McAfee doesn't just celebrate sports. He internalizes them, turning moments into part of his personal legend. When Clark sank a logo 3, he saw it as a cosmic sign that his choice to wear neon high tops with a sleeveless hoodie was spot on. As she made history, McAfee cranked his volume to 11 on the mic, blending passion with personality. For him, it's all about balance, celebrating the game while making every moment about his own larger-than-life reaction.
I actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
She's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the third most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Yeah.
She's just better.
And let's talk about that reaction. You'd think the man just found out he inherited the WWE. Oh wait, he kind of already did. Instead of offering calm analysis, McAfee's reaction is all about raw, unfiltered energy. His emotional range begins with chest pounding and escalates to chair-throwing chaos. His contribution? Screaming into the microphone at such a high volume that the camera almost filed for workers' comp. While Clark was effortlessly torching defenders like she was in a commercial, McAfee was turning it into a spiritual experience, delivered with the intensity of slam poetry, amplified by caffeine and pure adrenaline. It's his way of celebrating, loud, passionate, and completely over the top, making every moment feel like a personal victory celebration.
The rivalry aspect is eventually going to peter out if it's Caitlin Clark putting up triple doubles. They beat the Sky
30.
by 25 or 30, whatever it was. And then Caitlin is just kind of like this when Angel's even trying to start a fight with her.
Yep.
It's all.
To be fair, McAfee's reaction wasn't entirely out of character. This is a guy who turns coin flips into Oscar speeches and treats every moment as if it's a grand event. If Clark had sneezed mid-dribble, he'd probably interpret it as a sign of some grand universal greatness. You'd think he had money riding on the game, or that Caitlin Clark's every move is directly linked to the thriving of the McAfee sports universe. And honestly, when you spend every waking moment shouting into the void of sports culture, it's easy to start believing you personally invented gravity every time someone dunks. What makes this even more amusing is the performative feminist energy McAfee radiates while supporting women's sports. Nothing screams genuine advocacy like using Clark's historic WNBA performance as an excuse to unleash a fireworks display of words. Look, we get it. You're excited women's basketball exists, Pat. But maybe, just maybe, this isn't the moment for a macho soliloquy about how Clark's crossover somehow justifies your decision to bench press protein powder live on TV. The way he inserts himself into the celebration, you'd think he was part of the team, like the Indiana Fever was running a double high screen with McAfee as the decoy. Watching his reaction to Clark's win, you'd swear he was about to get fitted for a championship ring himself. He acted as if he'd been in the huddle, like Clark pulled him aside during a timeout and whispered, "Pat, I need you to yell loudly when I make history. The fate of women's basketball depends on it." His over-the-top enthusiasm and self-insertion make it clear, for McAfee, this isn't just a game. It's a personal spectacle he's determined to steal.
Obviously, last year at the beginning of the season, nobody wanted to believe. Okay?
They still don't.
There's a lot of people that still think there's a lot of other. She is the one, okay? And it pisses off everybody whenever we say it. And then obviously it becomes a whole thing because we're a bunch of doofuses and things like that. But this is the golden goose.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here playing 4D chess on a court full of mortals. And McAfee is narrating it like a trailer for the next Fast and Furious movie. The game showcased grace, precision, and dominance. But McAfee's reaction? It was a WWE pay-per-view mixed with a Mountain Dew commercial. Two completely different energies, united only by volume and a healthy dose of delusion. Let's not forget when he suddenly became the ultimate WNBA historian. 1 second, he's acting like the league is a new discovery, and the next, he's dropping stats like he's been coaching since Lisa Leslie's rookie year. We get it. He did a quick Google search, watched a few highlights, and now he's a scholar of women's hoops. Next week, he'll probably claim he invented the pick and roll. Then came the victory analysis. If you want someone to describe a basketball game as a war fought with fireballs and bald eagles, Pat McAfee is your guy. Subtlety has never been his strong suit. He explained the Fever's win with the same intensity as describing a Viking siege. According to him, Caitlin Clark didn't just score points, she transcended time and space. She didn't just win a game. She summoned the spirits of every athlete who's ever existed, united them in a cosmic slam dunk, and resurrected Indiana's sports relevance from the ashes. And in the process, he managed to make it all about himself, turning a historic moment into another stage for his over-the-top commentary.
Hey, it's Mike Scully again from the Reality Check. Full disclosure, this is the third take on this because I'm talking about stifling somebody's opinion, and I've been holding back on my true emotions of what I want to say. But I was just informed while I'm sitting here watching the Little League World Series, great game between Lake Mary, Florida and Hawaii, that ESPN and the brilliant minds up there in Bristol, Connecticut have stifled Pat McAfee about talking about Caitlin Clark. Now, I promised my kids this wouldn't be a profanity-ridden tirade, so I'm going to hold off on that, but I'm going to give you my true emotion. That is unbelievable crock of shit. What the hell are they thinking? This young lady deserves better than that. She's going to make that league millions, if not billions of dollars over the next 2 decades.
Because in the gospel of McAfee, sports are not something you witness. They're something you star in, even from the sidelines. Especially from the sidelines. Whether it's football, wrestling, basketball, or extreme hopscotch, Pat always finds a way to climb on the table and make sure we know that he feels something. Never mind the athletes sweating blood on the court, it's Pat's feelings that are the real story here. The funniest part? He probably thinks this helps. He probably believes his all-caps screamathon is what gives the WNBA cultural relevance. Like he's the guy who discovered America, except instead of a continent, it's women's basketball. "You're welcome, WNBA," he probably whispers into the mirror. "I just gifted you a McAfee moment." And let's not ignore the merch plug, because it's never just about the game. McAfee uses moments like this the way a used car salesman uses a sunny day, to sell you something you didn't ask for. Caitlin Clark just broke records? Perfect time to launch my new line of women's sports empowerment gym towels. If your support of women's basketball comes with a coupon code, maybe sit this one out.
If last night's game between Iowa and Michigan was on ESPN, I think the numbers would have been gigantic.
Crushed.
Now, I watched on Peacock. Caitlin Clark is a stone cold dog.
Even his fans seemed baffled. Half of them were busy trying to figure out if Clark had ever played in the NFL, while the other half were waiting for him to announce she'd be joining WWE as a tag team partner. And don't even get started on the comments claiming she could dominate in the men's league. Because nothing says respect for women's sports, like immediately suggesting it be replaced by men's sports instead. As for McAfee, his emotional roller coaster hit peak absurdity when he seemingly started planning a Caitlin Clark statue outside his studio, probably with a hologram so she can high-five him in real time. He'd place it next to the shrine he built for Aaron Rodgers, another athlete he's praised as if announcing the second coming. It's not that we don't appreciate enthusiasm, it's just that when Pat McAfee gets fired up, it's like giving a golden retriever an espresso 4. It's chaos on a mic. Watching him is like witnessing a motivational speaker have a meltdown in front of a bounce house. When that level of energy is directed at a WNBA game, it's less thoughtful commentary and more accidental parody. Because nothing screams celebrating female excellence like a dude bro screaming over it. The idea that Caitlin Clark's greatness somehow needs his stamp of approval is peak McAfee. It's like a human siren wailing, "Look at me, I know women do sports too." Congratulations, you've discovered inclusion, just in time to turn it all into a spectacle for your tank top wearing over-the-top persona.
Do you think Caitlin Clark will go down as the greatest player to ever play women's basketball?
Yes.
The truth is, Caitlin Clark doesn't need Pat McAfee's roaring endorsement. She's already rewriting records and making defenders question their life choices. She doesn't need a hype man who treats her like a guest star on his own ego tour. If anything, she deserves quieter fans. Maybe people who can celebrate a victory without needing to perform CrossFit routines mid-sentence. But Pat McAfee doesn't do quiet. His reaction to Caitlin Clark's win wasn't just loud, it was a symphony of absurdity. a masterclass in making everything about himself. She made history. He made noise. She made headlines. He made sure he was in them too. And let's be real. The next time Caitlin Clark goes off for 40, McAfee's going to react like she invented electricity. He'll probably rent a blimp and scream from the sky. Because when you live in a world where every game is a WWE entrance and every athlete is a prop in your personal drama, subtlety gets bench-warmed harder than logic. So, Caitlin Clark made WNBA history. Again. And Pat McAfee? He made a scene. Again. One of them delivered on-court brilliance. The other delivered noise pollution. One pushed the boundaries of what's possible in basketball. The other pushed the boundaries of what a human throat can scream before combusting.
What she has done for this city and for this team is unbelievable. Obviously, last year at the beginning of the season, nobody wanted to believe. Okay?
They still don't.
There's a lot of people that still think there's a lot of other. She is the one. Okay? And it pisses off everybody whenever we say it. And then obviously it becomes a whole thing because we're a bunch of doofuses and things like that. But like, this is the golden goose. This is the one. This is the generational, multi-generational player. And we're incredibly lucky that she's in Indianapolis. And she went fucking ham in the opener against the Chicago Sky. And there's a little scene, because Angel Reese comes out, same class. Caitlin Clark comes out, same class. A lot of people saying, obviously, Angel Reese is a massive part of this women's basketball rebirth, which I agree. I agree. She was certainly a part of the entire story and everything else happening. But there was a moment in the game where Angel Reese has a little bit of a push-off on an offensive board. Obviously, she's great at getting rebounds, incredible underneath. Caitlin Clark says, what the hell is that?
Come on!
Caitlin Clark says, what the hell is that, to the ref? And then she says, and most basketball people say, that's a take foul. Instead of a layup, we're going to make you earn it. I think Angel would miss one or both of those free throws instead of getting a wide open layup in that entire thing. Angel was pissed off, thought it was a flagrant. Afterwards, everybody said it was a take foul,
Because, of course, it wasn't the end. With McAfee, it's never really over. As soon as Caitlin Clark's impressive stat line appeared on the screen, he was already halfway through designing a celebratory trampoline entrance for his next episode. A normal person watches a talented athlete break records and thinks, that's impressive. Pat McAfee? He sees the same and thinks, how can I turn this into a fireworks display, a tank top giveaway, and a 13-minute monologue where I laugh into the mic while shadowboxing an invisible doubter? It's performance art, or maybe performance by someone who believes they're art. Either way, his reaction had more chest pounding than an NFL touchdown celebration and more breathless yelling than a NASCAR race finish. Caitlin Clark set another WNBA milestone. Pat McAfee hit every decibel in the volume spectrum not used by jet engines. And don't get it twisted, he's not mocking the WNBA. No, he's celebrating it, Pat McAfee style, turning the spotlight into a tanning lamp for his ego. This isn't advocacy. It's appropriation with a side of creatine. He took Clark's moment and added a soundtrack of verbal fireworks and self-congratulatory grunts, transforming a historic achievement into a chaotic showcase of his over-the-top persona.
Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, are back with a vengeance, back for it all. Triple-double for Caitlin Clark, 20, 10, 10, 4 blocks, 2 steals, no one in league history with that stat line.
And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes it so hilariously absurd. In a world where a 22-year-old woman is revolutionizing professional basketball, we still get a grown man in gym shorts acting like he dunked the ball himself. Caitlin Clark changed the game. Pat McAfee? He changed his vocal cords. And honestly, that's the most McAfee thing ever. Yes, Caitlin Clark makes history, elevates the WNBA, and inspires millions. But somehow, Pat McAfee manages to turn that moment into a chest-thumping, microphone-sweating spectacle of self-praise. She drops dimes, he drops decibels. She breaks records, he breaks eardrums. In the end, it's not just a victory for the Fever. It's a win for anyone who finds humor in the chaos of a man trying to outshine a legend by yelling louder than gravity itself. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.